we are going to film at Del Taco.
Oh yeah, we will.
And it's going to be whether we have permission or not. And Del Taco executives, you don't know which one we're going to end up at, but we're going to.
Somewhere. Watch out.
Just get ready.
If we all run in there with balaclavas, are they going to stop us?
With balaclavas, like the dessert?
We just come in. You want this Russian dessert?
Hey, we got baklava here.
We got pastries. Let's film here. Hello, and welcome to the Bumpy Soup Podcast, a podcast whose dad could beat up your podcast's dad. I'm Alec. I'm here today with Emily.
Yoo-hoo.
Aqua Supreme.
Me.
Shane.
What's up?
And joining us from Salt Lake City is the dynamic duo, Patrick.
Yo.
And Dej.
Bumpy Soup Podcast.
Sick.
They're just on the pod.
We're taking over Alex's job. You're out of here.
All right. Oh, man. All right.
Yeah.
She's got the shaker. She's got the power.
Yeah. Dangerous. Dej, we're so happy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, of course. Long awaited.
Yes, it has been long waited.
Yes.
So Dej is been a friend. Max has mentioned her about a trip that they'd taken with Patrick up there, and she also is the absolutely wonderful Miami Velvet from Good Show.
Yes, very true.
Tell us, Dej, how many newscasters did you watch in preparation for the Miami Velvet part?
So absolutely zero. I did not know that I would actually have to say words.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know that's kind of funny, but I was not
Nice.
super prepared.
She's a natural. Like
Yeah.
going in completely raw. That was all instinct. Audience.
That's right.
True.
Yeah. You could have been
I
a
loved it,
newscaster in another life.
Yeah. She's got that non-regional dialect.
Yeah.
Still can.
Yeah, that's right.
It's exactly how I'd expect someone to respond to a game of, what is it, a game of chicken gone wrong? Or what was it?
Yeah.
The game of chicken gone
Game of
terribly
chicken
wrong.
gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
In the Popeyes parking lot, which is really good.
Fuck. Shout out Popeyes, man.
Yeah, the only desirable chicken fast food joint.
Yeah, hey, if they're
Do
not
I have
actively
some
anti-gay.
news for you, buddy?
All right, here we go.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to get to talk about this. I had some of the most unbelievable chicken today.
Okay.
I've been wanting to get chicken tenders for like a week.
Yes.
Something in me, I don't know what it is, man. I keep recommending it to Meg for dinner. She's not into it. I keep thinking about it for lunch. It hasn't worked out. I'm not close to any chicken spots.
Oh yeah.
So today I spend most of my day in Hurricane, Lavercan, and Tokerville, right? And I'm like, fuck, I need my 3 p.m. Powerade. So I stop. At a Sinclair. It's one of the new Sinclairs in Hurricane, right as you're getting into Hurricane, right? And inside of there is this place called Crazy Crunch or Crunch Crazy. Something.
Okay. They have
It's
K's
all
instead of
spelled with
C's.
K's.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly, right? So I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's check it out, right? Like, they probably got chicken. Chicken and crunch is in the name, right? So they have this deal running, $6, and you get 3 tenders and a biscuit and some dipping sauce. I was like, yeah, fuck it, $6. That's pretty good. Like, that's fine. I also am terribly hungry, so this is it, right? So I get it, and the whole experience is absolutely insane. There's a bunch of really grumpy, terrible people who were fucking pissed about their food,
Hurricane.
for sure. And the woman who's taking the orders and dishing out the food, whatever, it's just her. She's obviously very stressed out,
God.
very busy. And she's like, I'm so sorry it's taking so long. I'm like, it's fine. This is my break, finally. I've been working for 9 hours and I finally get a fucking break. This is great. Take your time. Right? So I'm sitting there hanging out, whatever. Gives me my food. She makes a joke about how mean somebody is. I'm like, yeah, for sure, whatever. Get rung up, leave, right? And I get to the house that I'm going to photograph. And I'm like, well, I'm going to eat right now. I need something. Otherwise, I'm going to pass out inside of this house and nobody's going to know because it's completely...
Someone comes into her house and she's just passed out with a box of chicken.
People come up to buy the house. They're like, does it come with the dead photographer?
Yeah. What's up with that guy?
This is a new personality test. Do they take the chicken, the camera, or the boy?
Mary fuck kill.
Yeah.
Well, he's already dead, so you can't kill him.
Yeah.
No, he's just passed out. He's just passed out.
The chicken's also already dead. Who are you killing in this scenario?
You have to kill the camera.
Yeah. Let's be honest, they're gonna fuck me. So I get to the house and I'm like, great, I'm so excited to try this chicken. I had a fruit punch Powerade. It was delicious. My meal, this at least is gonna be fine, right? And I take my first bite of that chicken, dipped in some honey mustard, and it transported me to the first time I ever had Raising Cane's.
Ooh,
shit.
wow.
Word.
That's a tall order.
Dude.
Yeah, that's
I
some
was
high
think-
praise.
But when you were mentioning what the order was, I was like, that's kind of small. Like, I've only heard of that raising cane, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, and I took that first bite and it transported me back to the first time I ever had Raising Cane's, and it fucking rocked my world. It was unbelievable.
Sick.
And
Sick.
it immediately made me think of you, Emily, because I was like, I have to leave a review.
Oh no. Is that like a core personality trait you attribute to me, Shane?
On accident, yes.
Was it bad even if you had a good time?
Yeah. No, man, fucking insane. So the chicken spot inside of Sinclair's out in Hurricane, fucking
Fuck
go
yeah.
check it out, dude.
Straight up,
Fuck
dude, like
yeah.
restaurants that are inside of gas stations.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance on like, is it going to be really shitty food or is it going to be like really shitty but in the good way?
It's kind of dangerous.
Or
It's
really
kinda
just
risky.
good. Yeah.
I feel like
So Shane just reminded me there's a pretty good chicken spot in a gas station in like Beaver on the drive from St. George to Salt Lake. Do you remember that spot?
Mm-hmm.
We checked it out and they even have a sauce that tastes like really similar to Cane's sauce too.
Sick.
So it really hits the spot when
It
you're in the mood
exists.
for that. Yeah.
Talking
yeah.
about random little food spots on I-15 going up to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
In Fillmore, there's that weird gas station that has all the potato wedges. It's just family tradition that we always stop there and get those potato wedges.
Yum.
But like, also, if you take the shuttle from Salt Lake down here, they also stop there and it's like potato wedge time.
that spot.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
Yes.
the one in Fillmore. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize I was in Fillmore, but yeah, that spot. Yeah, dude, I had a corn dog there, and some potato wedges, and I think if you go to a spot wanting to get those, like that spot specifically is like, this is exactly what the fuck I was trying to get
Right.
here. Yeah.
If you're on the road and you stop in Fillmore and you get some potato wedges and they're even like slightly not microwaved, it's like, yeah, this is awesome.
this is exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Nice.
I have a fear of like deli food that's like out on a warmer for
Yeah.
a long time, because when I
You
first moved to St. George,
Yeah.
I got a job at Lynn's and I was super stoked that it was paying me $9 an hour.
Pre-inflation, let's go.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I did not have a car when I first moved down to St. George. I was biking around like Sunset Boulevard, and I worked at Lynn's. My house wasn't too far away. I made it work, but maybe like on my second or third shift at Lynn's, I had lunch there and I got some chicken strips and proceeded to have the worst food poisoning of my life for like 2 days, and had to take work off because I was throwing up.
yeah.
And they fired me.
You got food poisoning from us?
Yeah.
You're out of
I got
here.
food poisoning from my workplace and I got fired. That's probably like a workforce services like case.
yeah.
I just didn't know it at the time because I was
Well, you were excited about $9 an
17,
hour.
yeah.
There's no way
Yeah.
that you could have known that.
yeah.
Worth
Yeah.
it for the
But boy,
food
oh
poison's
boy.
worth it.
Yeah.
So that was my worst chicken strip I've ever had, probably. But yeah, the Raising Cane's, like first bite of the sauce and the Raising Cane's, I was obsessed for a while. In fact, Patrick would bring me the sauce.
Oh.
What? He's the sauce guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would he bring you?
Bring you the sauce? Bye, Patrick.
Oh, my sauce isn't good enough?
I remember the first time you tried that, just like the look in your eye when you took that first bite, you were like,
Yeah, dude.
it's like you just drank like a gallon of PCP. Like your eyes just
I never
went
have.
insane.
I'd never had that concentration of MSGs before. It was life changing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember the first time Dej showed it to me, it rocked my world for sure.
Yeah, man.
The first time I had Raising Cane's, also through Dej, we were This was like when we first started going to Dixie. We went to the university in town. We on our way down to Vegas, we were whatever. I don't know. This is illegal, but in the back seat we had like tequila, and like we had drank this entire bottle of tequila. And by the time we got down there, just eating Raisin Canes and then going to this rave afterwards. And then this girl knocked over the whole sound set. It was a thing.
Oh
But
my
Raisin
God.
Canes,
Wow.
they were great.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I
Hell
think the
yeah.
first time I tried it was when you and
When Alpha Panda played at
Alpha
Beau
Panda
Chateau.
was touring.
Yeah, big shout out to
Yeah.
Drew Show. Drew?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Scout.
Shout him out.
Yeah. Yeah. What's
I
the
ate
name?
canes twice that day because whenever I went down to Vegas, because Dej was still living there at the time, that was like the spot I would always want to go to because it was just amazing. And so we got it earlier that day, and then you guys all wanted to get food after the show, and you asked if I knew a good spot. And I'm like, I know a great spot.
You raise my canes.
So I can eat some chicken.
Yeah. I was prepared to boo you, but it came out good. So that's good.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Sick.
So what's everyone been up to this week? Anything remarkable?
I mean, that chicken really was it for me, man. It was so fucking awesome.
I got into a death match in Boggle.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was playing
It
Boggle.
was so intense that I had to tweet about it.
I saw.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were normally on game night, we've been playing D&D with Aqua over here, and he was not able to be there. So instead we played some Boggle and we played a few rounds and it was going pretty well. It was all right. Last round, me and my mom both tie.
Sure.
Like 32 points, something like that. We're both doing well. So we're like, all right, well, fucking overtime. Who won? Who won this game?
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? New rule, you can only do 5 letters or higher, right?
Oh,
Normal
wow.
rules are 3
Cool.
letters.
Yeah.
5 letters, right? We do it. We tie again. We do it again. We tie again. We do 5 overtime rounds. And I win by 1 point.
Amazing.
Thens.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, it's a bad one.
Is
Well,
that
I
even a
won.
word?
It's good enough.
It's a plural of a word.
I don't know if I have not heard that word spoken aloud since since that game.
Back in 1984, they were talking about that. Yeah.
All them they then.
Yeah.
It's like a new
Or
gender
Their
that's
thens,
like
I
not,
guess, maybe.
not shackled by time. Sign me up.
You're non-binary. I'm non-time.
Yeah.
I'm
Not on time, non.
Oh man. Best word of the night though was purple.
Oh.
Nice. 6 letters too. That's
yeah,
hard.
yeah, dude. It was even hard.
Maggie played a banger. I can't remember what
She
it
got
was that-
gotten.
Oh my God. No, it was your grandma that got
My
got and I got get.
Oh.
so she got gotten, she got get, and Maggie got gotten.
Get, got. Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
of
And
course.
so we kind of looped around trying to figure out what we were all saying.
Yeah.
For a second.
Get, got. Yeah.
No, I got get and you get got.
Yeah.
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 Y'all got gotten.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyone else do anything interesting over the past 7 days?
It's warming up, so I'm getting really excited to start planting seeds and seedlings.
The peas are popping off.
The peas are popping. It's amazing how much a pea seed can grow in a week. Like, try it out, audience. Like, get a pea seed and keep it watered and put it in a sunny window. You will be amazed.
And if you're not, we're coming for you.
Did you know that peas come in like 3 different colors? And
Really?
yeah, I've
What
only-
are
At
they?
least.
So
At least.
I've only ever seen green ones, but my 4th grade teacher,
Basic ass
his
pea.
dad, his dad was like
Pardon?
the scientist who like made one of the like purple or yellow or something like that. Anyways, he was like
Really?
involved in the crossbreeding
Ooh,
process
cool.
that made that.
Sick.
Kind of interesting.
Cool.
Speaking of
Shout
people
out
we
Mr.
know
Moser.
that have dads that are scientists, we have friends whose dad is a potato chip scientist.
Wow.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
it's Ian.
Ian's dad.
What
Ian
the
Ford.
fuck?
Yeah. Oh my God, this transitions so perfectly. So he's from Idaho.
Yeah, right. They are.
And
Yes, the Fords are. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they lived in the like around Napoleon Dynamite area.
Right.
And we were wanted to talk about Napoleon Dynamite because we were about to right before this podcast.
Yeah.
My question was, did you hear We're Gonna Be Friends? I assume everyone heard that song first on Napoleon Dynamite. Did you hear that song first, or did you hear Seven Nation Army first?
So it's tough because I feel like it probably was around the same time, right?
Same album.
So it's like, I don't know. I remember a lot, but I don't remember that. So I'm going to say probably the one from Napoleon Dynamite first that I like recognized. It was like, this is a song that I like.
Right.
Before maybe I heard Seven Nation Army. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. I think I heard that not knowing it was White Stripes, but I think I probably heard Seven Nation Army first.
Yeah, I can
Me too.
guarantee that you heard Seven Nation Army first because I heard Seven Nation Army first because while Alec was learning to play bass, he played that riff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Banger riff.
First
but-
riff I just figured out. You know?
Yeah. And so I definitely heard that first. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because I have thought about this. Like, We're Gonna Be Friends has to be the first song that people have heard most of the time in America because Seven Nation Army was huge in soccer. Like outside,
Not for a while. It wasn't big in soccer. It became an anthem in soccer, but it wasn't originally. Not even for like several years afterwards, from what I understand.
interesting.
Yeah.
Alec one-upping Max on the soccer knowledge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna Wikipedia this
And the
I'm
Jack
gonna come
White
back
knowledge.
next week.
Yeah. I 100% heard We're Gonna Be Friends first because of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I ever even heard Seven Nation Army until I saw like one of the Academy bands play it or
interesting.
something. I don't know. I just went a good amount of my life.
the ultimate junior high kid riff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, wasn't it on Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something like that?
None of the ones I had.
Interesting. Yeah.
It might have been a later one.
Or I Fell in Love with the Girl was on that, but not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With the girl.
That music video fucks.
Also
dude.
banger,
That
yeah.
music video is so sick. Directed by Michael Gondry, who also did Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Any other notable week things?
Well, I've got some quick Napoleon Dynamite
Oh,
stuff
you
really
do?
quickly.
Okay.
So that song, so that song happens during the opening credits, and let me just say, those opening credits are so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The condiments, yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well,
smart.
we talked about recreating that kind of a thing for the Hell Taco episode that has yet to happen because we can't
Yeah.
get permission to film inside of a Del Taco.
Right. Hey, if you work at Del Taco and want to help us out, do it.
They're under new management now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, there's a new manager at the spot we were trying to film.
Wow.
Last time
know
I was
what?
last time I was there. It
We
looks like they
are-
Damn,
like,
Rose is out.
I think so.
Rose is gone.
I'm
Yeah,
putting it out
rip.
there. We are going to film at Del Taco.
Oh, yeah, we will.
And it's going to be whether we have permission or not. And Del Taco executives, you don't know which one we're going to end up at, but we're going to.
Somewhere. Watch out.
Just get ready.
If we all run in there with balaclavas, are they gonna stop us?
With balaclavas, like the dessert.
We just come in. You want this Russian dessert?
We got baklava here.
We got pastries. Let's film here.
You can't say no to this.
I mean, I guess we could film until the police show up at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone ever been held up and then like, let us film an episode of a web series in your place?
Has a cop ever shown up to a robbery and they're just like, "Oh, sorry, we're just filming something that's not related to robbing this place at all"?
No, Your Honor, it was a bit.
Your Honor, I was doing a bit.
Sorry, officer. It was a joke the whole time.
Yeah.
Can I get off on the hee hee hoo hoo law?
That's the
That is
can't even
it.
say
That's it.
yeah, it is.
Oh, sick. All right, really quickly, because we already talking about it. We're probably never going to talk about it. Related to Napoleon Dynamite, is that I got to see that movie early. They filmed the people that made that movie were the Hesses, Jared and Jerusha Hess. They lived in my grandparents' ward.
Oh,
so
cool.
My grandpa hit me up and he was like, "Hey, my neighbor made a movie. Do you want to go see it?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, "All right, sure." So we go up. We actually go to the movie theater right by you guys. And,
cool.
we go and see Napoleon Dynamite. This is before anything. This is before it was known at all. And I watched this movie and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I'm prime age. I'm like 12 years old. So I'm like, this should be great.
For
But
you.
It's like, I was not into it. Although the time that he goes over the bike jump and then he lands and he hits his nuts. That's like, I mean, hitting your nuts is like the peak of comedy, right?
Timeless.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was hilarious.
Well, but I think that that's how I think Napoleon Dynamite when it came out was kind of like that, right? Like it wasn't like of the time necessarily. It's kind of like preceding a lot of the comedy that came after it. Like, because I remember like you watch it and you just feel uncomfortable, and like now it like fits a lot more into I think comedy than it used to. You know?
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of genre defining in a way,
Right,
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
There wasn't really that like awkward, really cringe, I guess.
Yeah, and it's not quite like they're being cringy. It's like making fun of the 70s. That's what I always think of. It's like these people still live in the 70s and they go to the chicken farm and they're farming.
It's
and
not
stuff.
actually. Well, it's like the 80s.
80s.
I think.
Oh yeah.
But it feels older because it's in Idaho, and you know.
Random fact:
states.
when I worked at RSL, this girl I worked with is from the town that is set in,
Crazy.
and like it's I forget the name of it, but anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the genre defying thing, is that I read an article where Netflix actually Napoleon Dynamite causes a problem for Netflix because
Is it
like-
the use of the R word a couple of times?
no, it should be.
Because that, if you want to talk about it not being of the times, I would argue that that is the largest indication of it being of the times is that joke that happens a handful of
I
times.
didn't even realize that was in there.
It's crazy. You watch it
Yeah,
again and
it
it's like,
is.
oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
I need to
Wild.
rewatch it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we
But
gonna say?
the thing is that it's just like it's like genre defiant in that like people that are into comedy aren't always into it, so it like fucks up the algorithm.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like if they don't know how to like how to put it for people because they don't know if someone's going to like Napoleon Dynamite or not based on
Right.
like what they watched before.
Yeah, what is the FFO of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've always wondered if Napoleon Dynamite, along with like Neon Trees and like Imagine Dragons, are more popular here than everywhere else because they're like nationwide things, but those are all Utah specific. I wonder if they're more popular here than other places.
No, actually, Napoleon Dynamite specifically is like really, it's huge all over. It
Intermountain West.
it fundamentally
though.
changed student elections.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, imagine living in that time when like every single student body president did that dance.
You know what?
I did, dude.
Yeah.
Did you?
It sucked.
Did you?
Yeah, I was in 7th grade when that movie
yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
How many times did you
No,
see that
did
dance?
you do the
No.
dance?
Oh my fucking god! You know how many times I saw Vote for Pedro shirts? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are cool though. Like I always thought they looked cool.
I wonder how that movie influenced those impressionable minds to get involved in government, like local government, care about local government.
Everyone
Care
who's in
about
local government now
politics.
is a Napoleon Dynamite
Yeah.
fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe, or maybe the people who are like city council members in 10,
I just love the
5
idea.
to
Of,
10 years.
I love the idea of like one congressperson being like, "I was inspired by a single film.
It's like my
Napoleon
chemical
Dynamite changed my life."
It's like My Chemical Romance being formed because of 9/11.
Napoleon Dynamite is the 9/11 of city councils.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
I was a
God.
really ugly and goofy guy growing up, and he did it. I knew I could too.
Yeah.
And I get the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nacho Libre is better
Yeah.
Those two movies are like connected. Why?
because they're directed
They're
by the same person.
Nickelodeon films that came out in like back-to-back years.
They're
I
both
think.
directed by Jared Hess.
Yeah.
He got Nacho Libre.
Oh, there we go,
based
too.
Solely
See,
on.
the reason I've always connected them is because my science teacher in high school used to play those two movies back and forth, just like instead of doing anything in class. But I did not
Wow.
realize that they were
That's
actually
sick.
connected.
Nope, they were.
Hang on. What
Utah movies.
subject did they teach?
Biology.
Mm.
They'd
Yeah,
also watch.
Mrs. Daniels.
Yeah.
Was she
Okay.
hot?
It was Nacho Libre for most of the year, and then during December it was Elf.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting. I was trying to like find a connection between biology and those movies.
There's no connection.
There
she
is
just
none.
liked the movies.
The eagle egg powers, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyone else have a weekly update?
I wanted to. Do any of you guys listen to Black Midi or Black Country New Road at all?
Are they related?
Like in genre wise, yes, but like, and they're both from England.
Really? I've listened to one Black Country New Road song. I did not at all relate to Black Midi, but I've listened to a lot of Black Midi.
Yeah, so they're like both like this like post rock, post punk type thing, but they're not. So I was actually, this is kind of what I was thinking about, because I listen, like Black Midi is like the best band of like, I don't know, maybe ever. They are insane. They make you
Give
think
me one
so
reason
much.
why.
Okay, because what they do is this. They take something that is not melodic, and then they make it the funkiest thing you've ever heard, and you're headbanging, and you're like, what am I supposed to feel? And then it changes, does this crazy sound, and it like, they make things that don't sound good and sound funky and groove to them, and it's like, why is this feel so good when it's just nastiness? It's not like it's hard, but it's not like angry, you know? It's like, it's just weird and interesting. But
I like funkiness and grooviness. I'll have to give them a listen.
yeah, I mean, that's not like the main thing they're doing, but they bring that out of the music they make. But yeah, it's interesting though, because the connection between those two, this is what I was thinking about. Where like sonically, they don't really have any connectivity other than the vocals, because the vocalists, they both do this thing called, it's like Sprechen something. It's some German thing where they do this like talking type thing, and then they throw in little like weird voices and stuff. And then they both have long songs. But anyways, they're not really similar other than that. And I just think it's interesting that they're connected when they're not.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a lot of thoughts. I was hoping someone else would have thoughts on that.
I don't
No one thinks about Black Midi.
I don't usually, hang on, I'm going to take a quick photo of Dej and Patrick because they're very cute.
I kind of felt like you were just talking about Death Grips for a minute.
Yeah, well, okay, I feel the same. Okay,
We're
the
being
other
honest.
thing is this about Death Grips. I feel the same way as Black Midi and Black Country New Road, which is like, man, all three of those bands sound so good when you don't have someone in your ear telling you how bad it sounds.
For what it's worth, I actually do think Black Midi is cool. I would not call them the best band of all time, but I think that they do some really interesting things that I think are like exciting and shake up the world of music in a way.
Best band of
like achieved any kind of mainstream, even if it's like that underground mainstream.
It's insane.
It's insane. It is like, and they're young as fuck, and fuck them for that.
Yeah.
So-
well, of like the last like 10 years though, there's no one else who's like breaking music the way that they are, right? I feel like Delta Sleep writes better songs that I'd rather listen to, like just if I'm listening to a song, but like they don't like, they're not causing like a shift in music where it's like now you can write something that's
bad.
No, it's art evolving is bad now.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry, Emily,
the Doobie Brothers are the best band ever.
Doobie Brothers are good. I still prefer Steely Dan over that though.
Steely Brothers.
Do you really?
Doobie Dan.
It's the same guys. It's Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers are the same dudes.
Oh, cool.
I fucking love and hate Michael McDonald's vocals so much.
Yeah.
What a Fool Believes.
Banger.
It's such an incredible song, and I think that like the melodies that are inside of that are fully like sold by his presentation of it, his like execution of his vocals. I think without it, someone else did it, it wouldn't really have the same grab that it has. But What a Fool Believes has been fucking stuck in my head for like weeks now.
Dude, that's like Steely Dan in general, because he does this like.
Do you believe that?
I don't think I'm a fool,
Oh,
so I wouldn't know.
I grew up with Steely Dan and the Police.
Sure.
Which I was raised in a pretty apolitical household.
Okay.
But the Police was probably the most political thing I was exposed to.
Police.
That and Jib Jab videos.
See, this is neoliberalism telling you that the police are neutral when they're not.
Yeah.
Are the Police political at all? Do they have political songs?
I don't know.
I know a
They're
song
like
about
a-
an
they're just-
island.
They're just like a reggae band.
And yeah, for real.
It's
So
white
kind of.
dudes playing reggae
Yeah.
music.
It's the best kind of reggae music.
Can I
Like
talk?
311.
Can I talk about my Walmart trip? Yeah. This is
What?
very important.
Yeah. Is this your highlight of the week?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I went to Walmart. I don't usually
Wow, story
Go
over.
to
That was
Walmart.
great, babe.
because we're like fairly centrally located in the area, and the Walmarts are like pretty
Equally
I don't know,
spread out away from you.
They're on
equidistant.
like the outskirts.
That
of
seems to be a
town.
theme with
Yeah.
like all of the stores actually. But we went to Walmart and
I'm so excited.
got some dog food, got some medication.
What's your go-to dog food brand?
What?
What's your go-to dog food brand?
Purina 1.
Purina one, and usually I like to get the coat one for Daisy May.
She's got a big old coat.
But they were out of it, so I had to improvise, and so I can't remember which one we got.
Okay.
But we were walking like past Island. It's very, very overstimulating being going to Walmart and like not regularing there. And then Alec was like, look. And what did you see? What did you point to?
I have absolutely no idea. Oh. I just remembered.
Oh wait, I remembered what you were pointing at and yelling me to
What
look
were you
at.
pointing at?
Yeah.
Well, I saw a beautiful present for the one and only Aqua Supreme.
Oh, hey, let's go! It's a Modelo soccer ball.
Modelo soccer ball, baby.
Oh my god.
Modelo time.
Let's go!
Yep.
All right, hey.
On the top.
It's time for Supreme's 60 seconds of soccer.
That's right.
I love it, Dej. Oh, I love the clappy hands.
Hey, Google, set an alarm for 1 minute.
Thank you.
We're a big fan of props on
Time
this show.
starts now.
Okay, welcome to Supreme 60 Seconds of Soccer. Let's go. First,
Yeah.
Real Salt Lake changed the name of your stadium. Okay, moving on. I've been wondering recently, have I been psyoped into liking soccer? When I first started watching soccer, nobody else I knew was even into it or knew the rules or anything, but now it feels like every time I meet someone new, they know someone who's super into soccer. The World Cup has been all over social media and everyone is wearing soccer jerseys now all over TikTok, and it really just feels like I've been tricked into liking soccer either by the CIA or by Soccer United marketing. I'm just another brainwashed American. Anyways, the MLS season started on Friday and RSL beat Vancouver 2-1. Let's go! Vancouver scored in the 24th minute to go up 1-0 before RSL scored 2 goals in 3 minutes to win the game. Justin Glad, the fans' captain, scored in the 70th minute, and then Damir Krylek, the actual captain, scored in the 73rd. What a game, what a win, what a team. Pablo Macaroni is taking RSL to MLS Cup this season, baby. Let's go! RSL! RSL!
Macaroni!
Also, Apple TV,
Shut up. You're done.
Fuck up.
You're done.
No, Pablo Macaroni is a real name.
Yeah, holy shit.
No.
Is that real?
His name's Pablo Mastroeni. We make fun of him.
Okay, oh fuck, oh my god.
All of my bets go into Pablo Macaroni from now on.
Okay, so
fuck yeah.
last week Patrick and Shane both got a point because they predicted a draw.
Wonderful.
Okay, so this week we have full. Wait, why didn't I put? Okay,
Wait. Shouldn't we get 3 points if we predicted a draw? Because we get the score right and like
No, because
there's
it was
winner.
1-1. You predicted 2-2.
Well, here's the
fuck,
thing with
okay.
here's the thing with predicting a draw is that you could do 1-1, which it is, or 2-2, which it is, or 10-10,
Which it will never be.
right?
Yeah.
So if it's the exact same numbers, though, it does count, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if
Yeah.
you get the score right, then that, yeah.
Did they have
Okay.
fun?
I do think they had fun because they scored and then they got the point at the end, but no points.
Spiritual point for Shane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, why can't I
I'm
find?
trying
Okay,
to think of a scenario where a soccer player would score a goal and not be happy, and that should be a premise
An own goal?
for
Yeah,
a
there
TV
you go.
show or a movie or something. Like,
when players
Well,
score against teams they used to play for, they oftentimes don't celebrate and they go, "Oh,
Yeah.
sorry."
They're trying to lose and they're trying to like whiff the game, but then they accidentally make it. And they're like,
Guy who's trying to lose a game. Man, I was cheating. I used my hands. Yeah, I used my hands. Okay. So Fulham versus Brentford. Alec, score.
fuck, they're so cute.
I'm gonna go with Brentford.
Score.
We're gonna go with 3-2.
2 to Brentford. Emily.
I'm gonna do 1-0.
Wow. For who?
Yes.
The band? Do you think one of their songs plays?
Sending out a yes, so yes.
That is neither the
Max,
band.
say one of the names of the teams. I wasn't paying attention.
Fulham or Brentford.
Oh, I'm gonna do Brentford one.
Nice.
Let's go, Brent.
Shane.
You want to take a guess?
11-7
A reasonable answer.
and no fun at all.
They're gonna have a bad time.
We're going 10-10 draw, baby.
Oh,
And what?
What else?
Anything else?
Oh! All right, Patrick.
I'm gonna copy Shane. I'm gonna say it's 69-69.
even more
Holy
fun.
shit.
Holy shit.
A world record, probably.
So they are having fun in your scenario?
Can you imagine not?
Okay, yeah, just making sure. I mean, if you concede 69 goals, you might be pretty mad, but it's fine.
They're just going back and forth, just like
No, if it's
Stop it.
69, though, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dej?
2-3.
To who?
Who wins?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Just say Fulham. It'll make Max happy.
Let's go! Come on.
Teacher's pet. Teacher's pet.
I'm saying 3-0. We're taking out those Brent fucks. Oh!
Nice.
Thank you.
Brent. What was it? Brentford.
Brentford.
So
Yeah.
Brent
Brent
fucks.
Brent
no,
nerds.
No,
That's even
Brent
better.
fucks.
I mean, wait, I voted for them. Never mind.
Okay.
Brent nerds.
Yeah.
Fulham fans in England
Yeah.
call them the bus stop down their way, but like I don't know London enough to say things like that.
Sure. You could fuck it. Say it, man. Take it.
I will never pretend to be British. That's
Yeah.
one thing I. That's one thing I
Dej,
will refuse to
Dej,
do.
have you ever pretended to be British?
Huh?
Have you ever pretended to be British?
No.
Why not?
Because
Uh-huh.
I feel like British accents are scary, kind of.
They are. What about the Jason Statham accent, the American accent of British accents?
What?
He's trying
Don't
to
listen
say.
to anything Alex says.
Can you elaborate on the scary accent thing?
Yeah.
I just feel like I can't think of a specific example at the moment, but I feel like in scary movies. Oh wait, he doesn't have a British accent. Have you guys seen Scary Movie?
The evil guy
2?
always had his British accent.
People that
Scary-
you imagine have
Scary
British
Movie
accents.
2. In Scary Movie 2, the butler has a little teeny hand, and it's kind of scary.
He's holding it right now, the little
He's
teeny
not.
hand.
Super British.
Is your
But-
shaky hand British?
This is so I get over my fears.
Exposure therapy. That's sick.
What are the other scariest accents?
Russian?
German.
I mean, people.
Did you both say Russian at the same time?
I said German.
Yeah, I was gonna say people talk shit on German accents all the
Yeah.
time, and I mean, yeah,
It's
I
got
think-
a lot of
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and you can say anything in a German accent, and it does sound like mean or scary.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's hard to.
I
soften
feel like
it
that's
up.
like the go-to scary sounding accent.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
just accent, but like their language in general.
sure.
It,
Yeah.
it just sounds a little harsh.
Bandit.
Our boy!
Yeah.
Damn, he did get skinny. Look at you.
Looking good, Bandit.
He's alive.
Well, not really, because he was in poor health.
He was in poor health.
You're very cute, Bandit.
Well,
I
he's
love
not
his
looking
nose.
kitty.
anymore.
I love his nose. Ah.
Oh, cutie.
He's alive now. He's on his
Bandit.
second life.
Wonderful.
Officially.
We'd love to see him. Does Bandit have an
Hi.
accent?
I think he does.
I think he'd be French.
He's French.
No, he's Siamese.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
Where- yeah.
Do you want to give us that accent right now?
didn't want to say it.
Patreon exclusive.
Yeah,
You can't get canceled on Patreon.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's in their terms of service. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. Uh huh.
What?
Maddie showed me this video earlier this week. Do you guys know who Onision is?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I only know him because of the controversy.
Yeah. So back, and he's just this YouTuber from like way back in the day. Like I used to use his free sounds on my YouTube videos and stuff. And yeah. Anyways, there's a bunch of controversies.
Is he like the I'm a banana guy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
he a
yeah,
banana
okay.
boy?
Like Shane Dawson.
Right.
I don't want to claim him as that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, basically, him and his girlfriend, like, kind of like, I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff, the fan and fucking grooming and all this stuff. But anyways, so he
Classic
has now
YouTube
been
guy.
canceled off of everything, including Patreon. And so he posted this video of him crying and just like, "You've taken everything from me, even my Patreon. You paid for everything."
So Patreon, what you're saying is Patreon is the last frontier. Like that
Exactly.
is the thing that sticks around the longest. So
he's-
that's good news if we want to like get a little,
A little spicy.
yeah.
If we really want to get some accents going on Patreon, sounds like we could do it.
Yeah, that's the only place I will do the Yakuza monologue.
Okay. Patrick did not record the Yakuza monologue, but if he did, we put it on our Patreon. We've got a library of deleted scenes, BTS photos, exclusive content, and our Watch of the Week club. So for as low as $1 a month, you can gain access to it. And one day, you might just get to hear us do an Asian accent. Thanks.
So, I taught myself how to crochet pretty much on YouTube, a little assistance from Maddie, of course. But I've seen so many crochet tutorial videos, and I have made a lot of really random stuff. And I haven't finished it quite yet, so I'll have to do an update for you guys. I
Let's see it.
know how well you'll be able to see it, but I should.
Holy
Wait, sorry.
Yeah, we'll throw it across
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the neck would be the.
That's so
good. The strap. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Anyway, you can learn anything on YouTube, is what I've learned recently.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a great learning platform.
So from that day
It
that you
is.
and Maddie were crocheting together, actually still in my car, I have the penis that you made.
Yeah.
On that day. Keep it near me at all times.
Send us a pic
Keep
so we can
it,
put it
keep
up
it.
right here.
And maybe we could put Deja's bag at its current stage when this is released, maybe?
Oh yeah.
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 Let's get
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll,
Right
I'll
here.
definitely show
if there
you.
is one.
Cool. That reminded me of Untitled.
I also had one or two very quick things as well. Dej showed me this video of this guy on the internet. He's just standing outside in the rain, and she's like, "Doesn't this look like Max?" And I'm like, "He's just wearing a vertical striped shirt."
Yeah,
That's my brand. That's my brand.
I mean, it
Yeah,
could
that
be
was it,
Shane
really.
too right
Vertical
now.
boy.
Shane is
Also,
awesome.
I have a little bit of a fit check. If you guys can see, it's
Oh, sick.
it's the Tim
Beautiful.
Robinson shirt.
Nice.
Dude, okay, so
Tim
I
Robinson.
was
Yeah.
admiring your shirt too, Dej. I really like the pink guy with the little. Is it a? Pink girl.
The pink girl's kind of doing a fit check, but it's her own like.
It's her soul or
Yeah.
whatever's
It's
in
her,
there.
like, sorrow.
the Workaholics boys posted a picture
The soul or
of Blake
whatever's in
Anderson's
there.
birthday party, and Tim Robinson is there. And in the picture, like he's there, but it's just his head, and he's in the very back, and he like it's in the middle of him moving. Anyways, this is really funny. I saw that earlier today.
Nice.
Workaholics
great.
and Tim
Nice.
Robinson.
Timaholics.
Broad City.
Well, you know what that doesn't
Workaholic.
remind me of? Watch of the week, baby!
Yeah.
Watch of the week. So our watch of the week this week is the one and only Broad City, Season 4, Episode 4, Mushrooms
Just a couple of fucking brides
in the city.
in the city.
Yeah.
It's our second watch of the week, revolving around mushrooms.
Yeah, it's true.
This is true.
That's so weird. Why would we do that? That's crazy.
I don't know.
We like plants.
We like plants.
Yeah.
Technically, mushrooms aren't plants.
This
That's
was
true. That's true.
recommended by our awesome friend Maddie. And let me give a little brief.
Shout out to Maddie. We love you.
We love Maddie. Little brief synopsis. The Goyles, Abby and Alana, take some mushrooms and have themselves a little nice trip. And
In
then,
New York City.
Yeah. And then afterwards, Abby gets a text message from her boss and has to go and deliver some macaroons to her for her wife. I don't know why.
Her boss's wife.
Her boss's wife.
It's her birthday or
She's
something.
French.
She's French.
It's her birthday.
She's
You're
French.
right. Yeah. And then Abby kind of has a little freak out while Ilana finds a couple to go and get dirty with and has her own little freak out.
Good
And
synopsis.
then a cat is killed.
Oh yeah.
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 Rip.
Not IRL.
All right. Well, let's start. Do you two have any any specific moments that you specifically like? Lightning round
You go first, Aiden.
of this
Me?
episode.
I really like Babies Are Crazy, a person pussy pooping another person.
Yeah.
And then there's like the animation of them flying and they're like breastfeeding while they're flying.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I also like when they're in the macaron shop and they're looking at the painting of Paris and they're like, Paris is so beautiful. It's like they're just like looking at a picture.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that the French guy is right behind them when they say that too. It's like, is he not looking at him like that's just a picture?
Yeah.
He seemed like a sweet man.
Yeah. Other than
No
the
riffing, lightning
Frenchness.
round.
All right.
I really like how he like slides over the door and down, and his whole like animation thing is fun.
Yeah. Backup Dreamcatcher. Fuck yeah. They
Yeah.
use a remote to
Dreamcatcher.
mash up the spices and the mushrooms. Fuck yeah. The baby's rant is fucking awesome in general. It's true. It's great.
Moms are literal superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I love when Abby says, "Have I been talking for a long time?" Which is a very mushroomy thing to say.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Insane. No, all of those. All of the names she gives herself are good, but
Yeah.
that's the best one.
Was it Junami?
Yeah.
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 And then her Jewish shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to poop
Love it.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like so percussion is a theme for me in my favorites for this watch of the week. And the first one is the percussion moment. It's like that scene in Tarzan when all the monkeys are like going do do do
Yeah,
da
they
da
have them,
da
yeah.
da
Oh, yeah.
da
Phil
da
Collins
da
and
da
NSYNC.
da. I feel like that was maybe a nod to Phil Collins when they're in the streets of New York, like just banging on random metal. I'm assuming dirty
it
shit
definitely was a reference.
and like breaking car windows, and I don't know what happened, but yeah. And then the second one is when they arrive with the macaroons at her Abby's boss's place, and Alana goes like, she's like clapping with every word she says. Yeah.
Yeah. And Abby's dancing to it.
Abby is dancing to
Yeah,
it.
hyping her up. Yeah.
Yep.
And the boss's like expression during that is really funny too.
Yeah.
Right.
When she's talking about how her nipples are bleeding during the animated part, there's a guy in the background that's jerking off under his pants.
You think I would have caught that?
Yeah.
There are some
That was
like
the second time.
there are some
I saw it.
foreshadowings to the cat situation at the end. Have you noticed? Did you notice that? Because like
Yeah,
there's blood
Maddie
on the
wanted
cat.
to talk about that. She was specifically saying like the one that is really really good is once they're setting up the macarons and everyone leaves. What's her name?
She talks to the cat.
She turns around. And she says, "You're my last hope," or like, "You're the proof that everything is going to be okay." And
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. A couple other things.
I also
Go ahead. Go ahead, Patrick.
go ahead.
You go first.
Fuck you. Okay. I also really liked when she's like stacking the macarons into like a pyramid, and she's just like so focused and into it. I feel like that is also something that I would do if I were on mushrooms.
Yeah.
I really like all of the animation. Oh, you were gonna go, huh?
This too shall not fucking pass. And then at the end, when Ilana is going through and unfriending all of her things with what's his name? Hannibal Buress.
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Lincoln. Yeah.
With Lincoln. There's three that stood out to me, three like social media sites. One is Jew Deal. One is Black People Meet, where his status is, what are you looking for? And his status is the opposite of what I was just in. And
Which is really sad if you yeah.
And then his blog is called The Al Dente Dentist.
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
When she's rage screaming, going through all of his social media, and she's like, "I love it. I hate it. Fuck you. I love
Yeah.
you." It's just so good. It's just such a niche. Also, when they're about to go through the tunnel and how the tunnel is so spooky, and they hold hands, and it's a very pure moment.
That is nice.
The fingers get all like tangled. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do we
My
wanna-
pussy's so huge it could fit both of you easily.
So do we want to go through? I mean, I just have like moments. I don't know if we want to keep on going through these. Like,
Let's keep going through them.
okay.
The line, she's smushed.
She's
me.
smushed.
Fucked me
Yeah.
up so hard. That shit is so funny.
In like the worst moment of your life, she's smushed.
Yeah.
I like how her name is Amanda.
Yeah, speaking of
Cute name for
Yeah, animals with human names. Amanda. Yeah.
One thing I really like throughout this all, like, firstly, the beginning of the episode when they first start getting visuals, like those are like the most realistic representation of like actual visuals I've ever
Absolutely.
seen.
Yes.
Wacky.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then I also really like how throughout the episode, the animation is directly tied to how high they are at the moment, and it changes, right? So like it goes up, and then it goes, you get less and less when they get to the party. They're just the eyes. Then they smoke, and every time they take a hit, it gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and like it's really connected to what they're actually doing.
The effect that happens around their bodies during that scene
Yeah.
specifically is so fitting. It's so fitting.
Yes.
Same with the one when they're coming up, and
Yeah,
like
that's-
the room is pretty ordinary, except there's this one thing that's like magical, right?
Well, and it's the
Yeah.
lines
And that's what
they
brings
do
you
that
in.
like together and then apart thing that like
Right.
that is what always happens
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, no, I really like the smoke vaping effect. I feel like that like really accurately caught like
And it color, yeah.
there's something, yeah, and it like really illustrates super well. And regarding the tripping effect, I think actually kind of unrelated, but the best tripping like I've ever seen put to film is in Midsummer.
Really?
The tripping effect
Yeah.
that they have in that is like so. Yes, that's exactly right.
I've never
Definitely.
seen Midsummer. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll need to rewatch
Yeah.
it because I don't remember what the tripping was like on that.
A group
When
of
they were at
24
dinner.
films I've never seen. Oh, just kidding. I like it too much.
Hey, 24.
Another one just about the what's it called? Animation. When they first come out and they're walking around, Ilana is floating the whole time, which I just thought was kind of funny. Like,
Yeah.
that's just,
Yeah.
but I think this is probably my favorite like little line in it. But they're like, pickles really are the trans people of the vegetable community.
Yeah.
That was really good. Also when Ilana is like, you guys have such hard bodies. I hope you're ready for a soft Russian peasant body.
There's something fascinating about this one, and I need to do a rewatch of Broad City because it's been a minute, but like both Ilana and Abby are confronting like their dream, right? In this
Right.
episode, and somehow it gets ruined. It's like that frustrating feeling when you're so close to what you want, but for some reason it goes horribly wrong.
You kill a cat.
Yeah, I love those parallels. I've
You have
said
no
this before.
serotonin.
What was that, Dej?
He said you kill a cat, and I said when you have also no serotonin.
Oh, one thing that was
Ouchie, yeah.
I actually thought I hadn't seen this, or I thought I'd seen this episode. It turns out I don't think I have. But when you're watching with subtitles, when she closes the door with the cat, it says "squish," and I saw that and I went, "What does that mean?" And then later on, I
Yeah.
found out why it says that. I thought that was funny though that it said that.
Yeah, I thought actually like, I've talked about how I really like when writing covers up future plot points with humor. They actually don't cover up the cat thing like at all. Like they don't cover it up with any sort of jokes or anything like that. She just lets it out.
And like the last
Yeah,
episode
it's-
of the last line in the episode references the fact that it's just like, that's just it. Like there's nothing more to it. The cat's just dead.
It's just horrible.
Yeah.
The first time I watched this episode, it was like a long time ago, and I guess I didn't even like notice the cat in the thing in the episode like at all. Like I wasn't paying enough attention. And then all of a sudden everyone's freaking out over this dead cat, and I was like,
Yeah.
when the fuck did that happen? And I was just so confused, and I thought it was supposed to be a joke, and I was waiting for it to be funny, and it was just this horrible moment.
This sucks.
When she's tripping, you can actually hear the cat screaming in the background pretty much the whole time after
oh
they
yeah,
Yeah.
she's freaking out. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always terrified. I don't know. Like there's this fear of I haven't done psychedelics in like a surprisingly long amount of time, but that
Me
like
too.
1-2
something
weeks.
horribly wrong and real is gonna happen, and like it happens in this episode, which is like that'd be fucking terrible if you were
Yeah.
on mushrooms.
Yeah.
No, I
And
think that
there's an episode of Have a Good Trip. I think it's a Netflix special about
How to
getting
Change Your
high.
Mind.
How to change? Is it How to Change Your Mind?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they're talking about this like hotel room psychedelic situation, and then like they think someone dies, but they don't actually die. can't remember how it goes, but that seems to be a common theme.
I think the moment with the phone is really interesting because I think that like for me that like touched me like deeply, like being tripping and having your phone buzz and going and then looking at it and it's something with real life and something you have to do. The way that they animated that was such a perfect encapsulation of what that feels like. The whole episode, I really feel like the animation was killer. I kept on thinking because I didn't write that many notes down because a lot of the jokes are visual and they're in the animation and the animation is so detailed and there's so many gags within it and like they don't even talk for a little while because just crazy stuff is happening.
So huge shout out to Mike Perry, who is the illustrator, the animator on this. He's also the animator for all of their.
Mike Perry.
Yeah, he's animator for all of the title sequences, and their title sequences always fuck super hard.
Oh, right. I love the theme song of Broad City and all the animations at the beginning.
3 and 2 and 1. Oh yeah,
yeah, so good.
The little gag where they high five and it starts and then stops when they
Yes,
realize.
that was like crossing over dimensions for a second, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's really funny.
Yeah.
The animation style in general really reminded me of the Paranoid Android music video, like the colors and just like the general, like how people look, kind of. That's what I was thinking about like the whole time.
Something else I thought was really funny, and Dej said this earlier with when Ilana was looking through and like yelling at the thing. But earlier in the episode, when they walk down into the water, they're sitting there and they're talking, and they're like, they reference the fact that like they should make a TV show about them together, and like I feel like this would be super relatable. I just thought that was a really funny line that like they just hit it on the nose, but they're tripping, so it's okay.
Yeah. So the Hannibal appearing throughout the episode to Ilana.
Yeah.
Or Lincoln, is that the character's name?
Lincoln.
That's like another
Hannibal.
relatable thing, right? Like mushrooms specifically are gonna like remind you to confront what like needs to be confronted, whether you want it to or not. And I like how he kind of becomes bigger too throughout the episode.
Yeah.
I like the part where he's like, I'm in a suitcase, and it makes sense because you have my suitcase at home, and so now you thought about this. Yeah.
This train of thought makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general, I don't know. I really like Broad City. I feel like it like has a little bit of that lower like production quality feel to it. Not necessarily in like that it's, I don't know. It just feels like it's two people making a show a little bit. Like it doesn't feel like there's a full cast of writers, which I like.
Yeah. So I mean, the Broad City started out as a web series and was discovered by Amy Poehler, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Who was in like the end series episode of their web series, and does show up in the actual show, and then it got picked up by.
That's cool.
Yeah, Cartoon Network, or sorry,
Comedy Central.
Comedy Central.
Yeah.
I remember feeling. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Nope, I refuse this time.
I remember feeling like a specific feeling going through all the Broad City seasons. And it was like there were things that would come up that were extremely specific to my experience as like I was like late 20s when we were watching that probably. And it's nice to feel seen and like have something to relate to very specifically on a TV show.
Yeah, that's one thing. I think that Broad City, like it's obviously a show that's about women, and like in all, it's like as far it kind of is like a girl show as far as like it's not a girl. What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't come off a lot of the way that shows that are made for women come off, right? It doesn't like come off as being a girl show for like New Girl, for instance. You watch that and it
just say
feels,
it's actually funny.
well,
Oof.
I feel well, that's fine. I'm fine to admit that. I feel like a lot of shows that are specifically made for one gender aren't good, right? And I feel like this isn't.
Do you think this is made for one gender?
No, that's what I'm saying is it's not. Like it features all women, but it's not one of those shows. If that makes sense.
It's because
I think what it is that you're picking up on is that instead of dick jokes, they make pussy jokes.
Yeah.
So you
Exactly.
still have that like genital humor. It's just the other one.
Well,
you
that's
know?
what I mean, right? It's like Workaholics. They have the same sense of humor. It's just women instead. It's not like we're gonna make
Right.
a whole different show that's for girls. It's just a normal show that has girls in it instead. Yeah.
I've
Which
said
I
it
really-
before
yeah.
and I'll say it again. I fucking love a grimy, crusty, real, raw female character or characters. That's
Yeah.
even better. Yeah.
Well, and what other like show has these types of people, right? Like it really does.
Poker
like show
Face is really good.
Poker Face?
Yeah. I would say they put her on a pedestal a little bit, but it's like a predictable formula.
It's
I-
nice to see these. Go ahead.
I saw something that was saying that basically like a necessary step in terms of like gender equality is showing girls that are kind of losers and stoners and you know what I mean, like not just like powerful women, but like not powerful
Just,
women.
yeah,
Kinda-
girls are girls
Lame.
just as much as guys
Yeah.
are guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dej, you look like you're going to say something.
I just keep thinking about how this episode reminded me of once years ago. I was on acid with my friend, and it's very much like you're in your own little world. And I had been tripping probably for like 6 hours at this point, and some Jehovah's Witnesses came and knocked on our door. And for some reason, my friend answered. And it was very much like a going from being in your own world to being punched into the real world because you're suddenly just like,
Nightmare.
holy crap.
It goes from being completely animated to like suddenly there's some like real life
Yes.
Jehovah's
shit in there,
Witnesses.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to join your cult. And
Yeah.
it was good.
A funny,
it was crazy.
funny thing, story about just doing psychedelics. I think almost like every single time I've done any sort of drug with Dej, her mom is called in the middle of it.
Who knows?
No, it's not even just doing. It's like if you're like in a car ride, if you're at the grocery store, she gets a call from her sister, her mom, or her grandma every like 2 hours.
Hey, we're close.
You should be very
But also,
grateful
yes,
for
every
that.
time we have done something, my mom definitely calls. Shout out to Regina. She
I
knows.
think about those times all the like.
Regina
that's-
knows.
You're sitting there and all of a sudden Dej's like, "Oh, my mom's calling."
So
Yeah.
I have a couple thoughts regarding the show, but I one of them is kind of about the filmmaking. I wanted to see what Shane's point of view is on the filmmaking and like the.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I think that it's like a little more elevated than a lot of those kinds of shows, right? I think that it like production wise, I mean, even just the animation alone, like I think really like it like it sets like a tone or like a kind of like an expectation of like, no, like this is like a good looking, good sounding, well written show, right? And I think it's cool, man. I think that like their shot choice is good. It's kind of tough because like I'm not an animator necessarily, so it's like
Have you watched other episodes of Broad City?
I've watched the first season.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's cool, man. I think it like you kind of got that same handheld kind of style, and it's kind of tough because it's like a lot of it's just like interior nights, which from a production standpoint is the hardest shit to shoot, and they all look incredible. So, I mean, like as far as filmmaking goes, I think that they did a really, really fucking great job, especially on this episode because they only shot the hardest shit to shoot for the most part.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about this. It just kind of came up as you were talking about this. Like, do you guys? It doesn't feel like a show that makes you feel this while you're watching. But do you notice how many like cuts there are in there? I feel like
It's
it moves
such
around
fast
a lot.
editing. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
such fast editing. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
interesting because like the later seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine does that editing, but it's like the YouTube editing where it's too fast and it feels pressured. Broad
Sure.
City doesn't feel fast, but it is cut. Really,
It
like,
gives
is
it
cut
enough
like that.
as much time as it needs, I think.
Well, I think it kind of keeps.
I think the only time I really noticed that is when Ilana is doing like trying to hype herself up in the mirror, and it keeps going from like the different angles.
I think it's. I mean,
That was a funny scene.
I think it's really cut like with the bits or with the jokes,
Yeah.
right? Like it doesn't like linger on anything any longer than it absolutely has to. Like it's like
That's
bare necessities only.
That's a skill that I really, really respect
Yeah.
and aspire to.
I think that there's probably a lot of ad libbing, and they're just like cutting in right when they can, so
Where
that
the
it-
joke is.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
especially with this starting off as a web series, this
Feels
has
like
got
what
to
we
be
did with
somewhat
Mulligans and
improv. You know?
Mulligans.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the idea of like writing all of those jokes, like it's not unreasonable to assume that someone did write them, but I think that like, I don't know, having the space to maybe riff a little bit and run 2 or 3 cameras at the same time and just cut as needed or as wanted, like makes the most sense. Especially your 4th season now. Obviously they have money, they're doing well, and it like so yeah. I'm sure it really probably just comes down. Like I said, I think it's just cut to the joke. I think that's why it's cut the way it's cut.
This was the first ever episode that I watched of Broad City. Actually, I was literally walking in.
Yep.
I was in Bryan Head. It was a couple years ago. I was walking into a cabin for a friend weekend to celebrate Dej and Max's birthdays that had happened recently. And this was playing on the TV and I was like, whoa, like it's doing really fun, cool, like cartoony animations. What's this show? Oh, there's 2 female leads. This is awesome. And I was kind of glued to it for a second, but yeah. Fun little memory associated with this episode specifically.
Yeah.
And I love that Maddie is the one who recommended it too. Like, shout out to Maddie.
I have one last thought.
Okay.
So the idea of getting high and then having to go do something for your boss is like a legitimate fear of mine that like I'm working through in therapy. Like it's like a legitimate fear that I have, and like it like is the reason that I can't drink, the reason that I can't smoke, the reason that I cannot do anything is that I have to like be ready for something all the time.
Have you thought about just like not having a job instead?
Well, I think that would be a really sick option too, right? And it brings along its own sort of insecurities and anxieties that I have yet to truly experience. And I think that at this point, it's kind of like one at a time.
I see.
That was really worth saying, Alec.
Shane,
I was looking at that too.
you are a very responsible person
Thanks.
who deserves to have the experiences you want to have.
Yeah.
And fuck capitalism and
Well, I think
whatever
it's
blocker is there.
It's not necessarily like work related. It's just like anything in life related.
Yeah.
Like I would like to be ready to do something if I need to do it, right?
Yeah.
Which is like an anxiety thing. It's like, I don't know. So I'm working on that. So this episode was like hard to watch because it's like, this is like how I feel every time anything gets brought up. Like even like drinking or like smoking weed, like it like is this. It immediately jumps to that where I'm out of my fucking mind.
Terrifying moment when
right?
she pulls out her phone.
Yes,
Have you ever
exactly,
had
yeah.
that happen? Like, have you ever not necessarily been intoxicated, but like, have you ever had a boss reach out to you like recently, being like, "Hey, I need you at like 9 o'clock at night or something"?
Well, I think unrelated to work, just like in my personal life, or like with people that like I feel like that I owe a sense of duty to, right? So family, friends, things like that, and yeah, and so it really came to a head just a couple months ago when we were like very rudely awoken at like 6 a.m. By someone at our house that wasn't supposed to be there, did a lot of really crazy stuff.
Ooh.
And it like broke my brain.
Fuck.
And really
Sorry.
like it's what it is. So like it really like kicked like this thought into like overdrive of like I have to be ready now because like this person showed up unannounced, completely by surprise, and now like who knows when it's going to happen again, right?
Have you ever thought about not living
I'm
somewhere?
Sorry.
Well, that's a good idea too.
That
I think
sucks.
maybe
I'm
that
sorry,
really.
Shane.
Well, I think it's what it is, man. I think that like I just got to get over it. And honestly, I feel like doing some mushrooms probably would help me confront it and get over it. But the thought of that is terrifying.
Yeah,
because
I don't know if
imagine I do mushrooms because I'm trying to work through it, and then it happens.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know how much we want to dwell on this, but I don't know if like get through it is necessarily the right terms for that. I think that like positioning it in your head and understanding what was
Reframe.
different and like fault is not on you for it, like I think that like there's a lot of it's not necessarily anyways, I don't necessarily think it's something that you need to get over. It's just a thing that like happens in life and you just have to like contextualize if
Sure.
that makes sense. You didn't do anything wrong.
We're
It's
here
just,
if you want help with that. I'll be
I-
responsible for a day.
No, I appreciate it.
The best way out is through.
All right, hey, welcome back. Shane had to leave, and during the break, we did some cat talk. So if you want to see that, go ahead and sign up for our Patreon.
We actually
and see
replaced
that.
Shane
It was
with
a
Bella.
cat. It was a cat show and tell.
Yeah.
One of whom is still here.
Bella had a lot of thoughts on
Upset
this
that we woke
episode.
her up.
Yeah, she's not happy about it. Well, no, she's
Great
not.
thoughts. Great thoughts.
Thank you for sharing.
Well, speaking of people having thoughts, I had some thoughts about Broad City in general. So, something that we've talked about related to some shows So Broad City started as a web series. It started as a DIY project, and it became a show. This is the same thing that happened with Workaholics with their mail order comedy. They started a web series, they became a show. And same thing with, quite frankly, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They started with home videos, they became a show. And I think it was kind of the same thing with Trailer Park Boys. They started like with DIY projects and they became a show. And I think that we've talked about like kind of dynamics between those characters. I think that actually also carries over into Broad City. So Broad City has Alana and Abby, and I think that those two like kind of stronger archetypes of the narcissist and the insecure actually carry over to those two. I think that Alana is narcissistic and Alana is insecure. And Abby is insecure. But they don't have that third character. They don't have that kind of more wholesome, kind of vulnerable character that is taken by Blake or Charlie or Bubbles or whoever. And I think that I'm not sure. I want to kind of discuss it, but I wonder if that has something to do with the fact that they're women and that kind of vulnerability and kind of emotional connection is either more socially or more inherently pushed among women and is therefore kind of like spread between both of them.
I think they're just two friends that had a similar sense of humor and decided to do something. I don't know. Like, I could be misinformed about the origins of this show because I don't know much about the origins, but it seems like that was just the dynamic that was there, and so they decided to play with it.
Yeah, if I had to take a guess, I think that there just wasn't a third person involved. It was always just these two, and so it's kind of just circumstantial.
Well, I think
and also
go ahead.
Also, I think there isn't much need for like a third wholesome person because the two of them, despite being like the narcissist and insecure archetypes, they have a lot of really wholesome moments between the two of them already.
Yeah, right.
So like that third character isn't super necessary.
That's what I was going to say. I wonder if that's split one between just those two, like kind of just having that relationship, but also, Lincoln is like, he's not one of the main characters, but he definitely is a super wholesome guy throughout the whole thing, right? Like, and I wonder if they did that kind of as a way to compensate for not having a real third character.
Well, you can also do that with like was it Jaime, the roommate? Mm-hmm. He's also very wholesome. I think that their relationship though is kind of more wholesome. It's like built into it.
They don't like bicker and fight with each other like you see on Workaholics or Always Sunny. Like they're almost always on each other's sides and maybe have their own journeys and arcs in the episode.
Right.
But they're never like at odds with each other.
Right. And so I think
they're at odds with like the world around them.
Yeah.
Another thing too is I think there's a common dynamic, and like Dej, I'm like open to hear your thoughts too. Between women, it's like the female best friend. Like you just have a best friend. And
definitely.
I think that illustrates this really well.
I agree with what Patrick said regarding like they just have the balance. They have the wholesome moments between themselves and between other people. So to me personally, it doesn't really seem like a third person would even really be necessary because they fit all of those aspects and molds, I think, perfectly together with each other.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I don't know if it's about making a statement necessarily, or even if it was like, it couldn't have been architected because it started as a web series and like humble beginnings and all of that.
I feel like the archetype that they are fulfilling is just the two women, right? Like what you were saying, like it doesn't have a third person in it.
And I think that this is maybe my kind of broader point, which is that
hey, he said the word.
I did it.
You did it.
I think that it's
He
really
said a word. He said a word. A word.
It was a void. I think it's really interesting that this character dynamic of the insecure versus the narcissist shows up specifically in DIY shows. It probably shows up a little bit other places, but I think it's a lot in these ones. And I think what that actually kind of metaphorically represents in a certain way is a struggle that an artist has between being like, I am the greatest. I made the best shit of all time. And like, I am garbage. I am shit. Everything I've made is shit. And this kind of back and forth and this fluctuation between that. And in order to actually make something, you have to have this vulnerable, more wholesome middle that says, no, like, I want you two to both be together. And
Yeah.
it shows up in these other comedies, and it shows up really well here because it's kind of embodied by both of them having that sort of love for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you are an artist and you're doing something, you have to be confident in what you're doing, but also most of the time when you're doing something, you have to have like that vulnerable personal side to it. Mm-hmm. And you are always kind of self-conscious of like, is anyone else going to like this? Mm-hmm. So I think it absolutely makes sense that it comes up in all of the shows that we've kind of watched, having that dynamic intrinsic into it.
Yeah.
I think this is something that I wanted to say earlier before I accidentally said something that may be construed as sexist. But like something that's nice about this show is that it like you know, as a white straight cis guy, seeing like women represented in the friendship that they have in the same way that the guy's friendship is represented in Workaholics, like it just feels nice to see that, like, it's, I don't know, that like I said, that there's this good comedy show that is being made that isn't just featuring white guys, you know, and I feel like
it's not trying to be anything else. It just is what it is.
Exactly. And I think that comes from kind of the fact that it came from the web series thing. It's people getting together and making their thing. It's not a network creating something, you know?
Yep. It's very organic. And very
I watched I think it was like a Hot Ones, but it was like an interview with both of them, with Abby and Alana. And the guy asked them, I don't know, just something about like how they got started and like what they wanted to do. And I think I remember them saying something similar to what Alex said about how, or someone said it, about how like, it's not necessarily supposed to be like strong, powerful women. It's kind of just like normal women. And they said that they just wanted to make something kind of like that. It was like, we're just like two stoners and we just wanted a show that was just like about us.
They also have such incredible chemistry too as actors. Like, I mean, it comes from them being friends, but it's so fun to watch them interact and you want to be their friends, you know?
Right. But I think it is really important to not to have representation without it necessarily having to be like a statement. Like it makes it more normalized when like these people exist outside of situations where it has to be
brave.
Like
you don't have to try and be a strong female lead.
Right.
You can just be yourself.
Yeah, there's
Thank you.
It kind of related to that. There's this guy he's a professional football player or soccer player, and he just came out as gay. And one of the big
Is his name Michael?
It's I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I don't think it's Michael.
Is it Pablo Macaroni?
No, but in all of his statements, because people keep on saying, "Oh, you're so strong for coming out as gay and such a male dominant, you know, testosterone thing," and he keeps on saying like, "That's great, but like." It shouldn't be strong. Like I'm not doing anything different.
Also,
you just know a fact.
Do gay people have less testosterone? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
They're fucking dudes. How can they have less testosterone?
Yeah, more.
They siphon it from each other.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
That was
I think it's
funny.
totally right though.
Yeah. Anyways, I forgot the point I made right before that. That was pretty funny.
Dej, there was a second ago that you opened your mouth and someone else said something. I want to know what you were going to say.
I don't even remember. What was said? Because I might remember.
It was like maybe 2 minutes ago.
I think I was going to say like on the idea of you don't have to be anything but yourself. It doesn't have to be like a strong empowerment kind of thing. I feel like I have definitely felt some of the most representation of like my personality through seeing Ilana, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel very in tune with her. I feel like she's very much me and I'm very much her. And it doesn't have to be like I need to change my life and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, oh, sick. This is cool. This is funny. She's awesome. She's just great how she is. And I feel like it's very strong. I don't know. I have felt so much representation from Ilana in Broad City specifically, and I just really love that.
That's actually something that I
More,
wanted
please.
to ask is who are all of you? So she's Ilana. Who are you, Emily?
I think I'm a combo of the two. And that's maybe the point. It's not the point because they are who they are, right? And they were friends who made this. But I think I'm probably a combination.
I think that's what a relatable show is, right? Where some people are going to feel I'm a character, some people are going to feel I feel seen because between the two characters. That means it's a good show.
There are like
So you're not a Zoe or a Zelda.
there are these like specific things that have been mentioned in this show that I'm like, holy fuck, they are talking about me right now and something I did this week. And it's so incredibly specific. And I'm sure that like other people in different demographics have felt that way about shows before, but I think this is the first show that made me actually do that, which I fucking love.
Well, how many other comedy shows I can't really like maybe 30 Rock, but because it's Tina Fey created, but like how many other like really female like led as far as like all of the main characters are female and like it was created by them.
Girls.
Is that I don't know.
Yeah, it's by Lena Dunham. It's an HBO show.
Yeah,
I
is it a
haven't
comedy?
watched much of
It's
that.
like a dramedy.
Okay.
Go Piss Girl.
But it makes sense.
Gilmore Girls.
No, it's just Girls. That's the name of the show. Boo, maybe.
It is.
I don't know.
The Mindy Project.
I guess that's created by Mindy Kaling, but it's not a full female cast, right? It's not like every main character is a woman. And I can't think of any other shows that are like that. And so, again,
The
it's
Sex and the
Sisterhood of the
City.
Traveling Pants.
oh, of course.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Girlfriends.
But
Girlfriends, yeah.
but yeah, anyways, it's one of those things that it's like, I don't know, it feels nice to see the people who aren't guys getting to write the shows and making representation happen, right?
What was that like? What was that like as dudes getting to watch Broad City for the first time? I'm curious about what your experience was like.
It comes off to me. It's something that I kind of notice where it feels a lot more genuine and authentic to see these female characters and just a show that's about women because it's also written by these two women and they're also kind of playing themselves and their own friendship to a degree. It feels a lot more like authentic and it feels kind of like the same vibe that I get watching Workaholics than I do watching like the typical man rights woman sort of vibe. It's something that is really worthy of appreciation. I think it just feels really good and genuine. And I think that also plays into what Max was saying earlier about how it doesn't feel like a typical like girls show because it's just like it's just a show.
And I think that like something that's important to notice is when we say girl show, we're talking about shows that are written for women by men, right? That's the difference, right? When we're talking, it's a show
Girls
that's made
in quotation marks.
Yeah, right. Broad City isn't a girl show, even though it's made by girls and maybe a lot of the viewers are girls. It's not like a show that's made for women. It's just a show that features women in it, you know?
Right. It was made by like real artists who had a good idea and wanted to do something. It wasn't made by some like corporate heads trying to market something to a female demographic.
Yeah, they're not trying to market anything. Exactly.
And I think that also
Right.
like, there's a lot of times where female writers also fall into that where they're trying to create this the strong
Mindy
female
Kaling.
woman type. Yeah, like these ones that are trying
Right.
to like push this rather than be an authentic version of womanhood that is much better shown in Broad City.
More, please. That's all
yeah.
I'm going to say. More. Give me more.
I'd like my city to be broader.
I want more TV shows with this because I'm out of them.
And by the way, for what's worth, I'm a Bevers.
Wait, what? What's the joke?
Bevers is Abby's roommate.
Are you?
Oh, word. Yeah.
I ate all the cheese in the fridge.
Yeah, like he's dating her friend that is actually renting it, and he's just living there.
But they've never
she's
seen
never
her.
there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just Bevers. Yeah.
That's such a funny thing. This show in general, actually, something that I feel like this episode that we watched is not very good at showing what this show is in a lot of ways. It's a kind of like one-off episode, and this show does a much better job of showing like other characters within their kind of community that are really funny and really specific. Like Jaime, like we mentioned, I think he's an awesome character. I think Bevers is a really funny character. And what's Abby's workmate? The guy that works at the gym.
Oh my
fuck.
gosh, yeah.
I can't.
I don't know his
remember.
name, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyways.
Jim guy.
Like there were certain contextual things that like watching this the first time and even like today I was a little confused about, but then I was like, oh yeah, like she broke up with Lincoln like maybe a couple episodes ago and she's thinking about that right now. But like if you hadn't known that, like you're not supposed to dive into episode 4 of season 4. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 6 seasons of this, right? And it's
5.
over now,
5.
right?
Wait.
I think I saw.
There's only 5 on
5.
Hulu.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
There's
5.
only
and it's
5
done
and
being
that's
made right
it.
And it's
now.
10 episodes each. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is one of those things that it's kind of like with the Workaholics guys. Like I wonder like what they're gonna do after this because they're so intrinsically tied to this that it's gonna be hard to.
Well, they
hire
would do a
them.
movie, but
yeah.
fuck Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
They did do a movie called Game Over Man. What were we saying, Dej?
Oh, I was gonna say Ilana, or actually did a really good movie that came out on Hulu. I want to say last year, about
The Rosemary's Baby one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it's about. Pretty much she's pregnant and she just kind of loses her mind, but it's really good because you see a different version of her
Isn't that like
acting.
based on a book?
It's
or
like a
something?
Rosemary's Baby remake, basically.
I'm down.
I
Only
thought
to
you were
find
saying
it.
it's a
Check it out.
Rosemary's Baby. I was like, wait, isn't that like a book or something? Yeah, okay.
No, that's a
anyways, but
movie.
Yeah,
Dragon-Nose Baby.
I'm pretty sure it's intended to be like a modern Rosemary's Baby remake movie.
Yeah. But it's really good.
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts, or are we ready to move into naming this baby?
Just name it.
Final thoughts is that you guys should really watch the whole thing because it's worth it.
I think they have. I think it was Shane that hasn't.
I watched all of it. We watched all of it.
We've watched all of it, but I want to watch it again.
Me
Yeah.
too. I'm definitely going to do a rewatch at because of this.
We watched one other episode before doing this, and it was the one where they're on the airplane. And one of my favorite things, which is the Jews.
Have you guys seen when they go to the DMV?
No.
And then pretty much they're in there, and it's like they're in there for hours, and it's foggy, and they're just kind of losing all despair. It really feels
We
like that.
we watched it, but I can't remember it. Yeah.
Gotta check it out.
Let's name this puppy.
What I was trying to think. What were some of the stories that we were talking about earlier? I mentioned
Napoleon
Black Beauty,
Dynamite. We're talking
Napoleon Dynamite.
We're talking
Shane's
about
Amazing
fried
Chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Chick City.
Broad
City.
chicken.
Broad Chicken City.
Broad Chicken.
Raisin broads.
Raisin Broads Chicken City.
Chicken City Dynamite. Napoleon's Broad Chicken.
Ooh, I
like
really
broad
Let's see
chicken.
Papa
I really
Person.
like Napoleon's Broad Chicken Dynamite City.
Napoleon's broad chicken. I feel like Dynamite City's a little bit too much. I like Napoleon's broad
we're
chicken,
pretty
though.
fucking close to what it should be.
Napoleon's Broad City.
I like dynamite in there.
Napoleon's Broad Dynamite.
Dynamite
Let's see
City.
Papa Person.
Dynamite Broad Chicken.
Black City. Like Black Midi.
Oh.
It's not good. Don't give me that.
No, that's not.
I love the collective.
It should be a
Napoleon
combination of
Ashkenazi.
those words that we just said.
Did you hear that?
No.
It's okay. They missed it.
It was Napoleon Ashkenazi.
My vote is Napoleon Ashkenazi.
My vote is no on that.
Okay.
All
Okay.
Hey, well, you viewer already know what this episode's name
You know
is.
before we do.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining.
follow us on Instagram, Bumpy Soups. On Twitter, Bumpy Soup.
You already know,
on
we're throwing up all the
TikTok,
socials.
Bumpy Soups. Follow
All right.
us everywhere.
Thanks
And
so
send
much.
us in dreams for Shane to interpret.
Bye.
Bye.